Good evening, Superfan Dan here from California. It is noon our time, which means it's 8 p.m. UK time, GMT. I've got a couple people in the background waiting to come on, but we're here to discuss the fantastic 2-0 victory over the visiting Crystal Palace at St. James's Park today. Looking at the social media accounts yesterday, looked like Geordieland was covered in a blanket of snow, and we got to see a little bit of that pushed off to the sides at St. James's Park today, but we'll talk about that. I've got, of course, the other Mr. Devlin, Scotty, in the background, and we also have Lauren, who hasn't been with us in a while, but we're happy to have her back, so we'll bring her on in just a second. Before we do that, a little housekeeping, just a reminder. Goodness gracious, there's already a whole bunch of people in the comments. Welcome to the review of today's game and a celebration of 3 lovely points as well as a clean sheet. Please like, share, subscribe, and hype after the show is over to promote the channel. It's all free, and it really does help promote the channel for us. Support us further by joining and becoming a member of our show or our channel for as little as 99p a month. You can also use the super chat function to donate. All of the money that we collect here as part of membership, of course, goes to the operating costs of the channel, our subscription to our hosting platform, that kind of stuff, and as well we give to charity. If I use my banner here real quick, we have raised over £11,000 since we started the channel. So nothing to sneeze at there. Let's see here. Go back to turn off my banner. I wasn't ready to do this tonight, so I'm happy to be here. And like I said, I've got our co-host. Please adhere to standard community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and of course, enjoy the show. With that, let me bring on Scotty, Mr. Devlin. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good to see you. And we'll bring on Lauren as well. Hello, Lauren.
Hi.
Yeah. Haven't seen Lauren in so long, but it's wonderful to see your face. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to quickly run through our comments here. There's Roger's in the house. There's Gary. Hey, Gary. Everybody's saying hello to you. There's Leslie in the background. Hello, Leslie. Jules. Good to see you, Jules. Just cruising through. Everybody's saying good evening. There's Scotty saying good evening. There's Derek from Woodbridge, Virginia. Good evening, Derek, of Derek's Designs. If you haven't checked out his website as well. There's Gary. Kevin, good evening. Kevin, good to see you. Roger. Everybody, hello. Jules. We are a very congenial bunch. Hey. There's Owen and Ollie, the doggy pals. Good evening, gentlemen. Good to see you. Owen was very happy this morning. He texted me right after kickoff and said, "Uncle Dan, I'm watching on my phone." So good to have you on, Owen. Good to see you in the background there, buddy. I'm going to be paying attention to the comments tonight simply because the whole idea here is we want to have that live chat interaction. Sometimes I get bogged down and try and do all the media stuff and I forget about the comments, and I don't want to do that tonight. But we are very quickly here tonight to discuss this fantasticness. Not a bad result tonight, eh?
It was good.
So for the two of you that are actually on Tyneside, what was the weather like today?
Freezing.
I saw freezing. All right.
Freezing, and there's still snow on the ground, and it's so cold. I'm currently in my dressing gown with my heating blasting. So. Scotty
says he's feeling a little under the weather, and I think that's probably due to the cold snap all of a sudden. Yep.
Oh, hey, it's Baltic up here. There's snow. It's freezing.
It's awful.
No, not awful.
It is awful. I hate the snow.
It was a wonderful 3 points today. More importantly, it was a clean sheet for us. Our first clean sheet since defeating Tottenham in the Carabao Cup. So, I mean, that goes back a ways. That's middle of October. So, I mean, I'm well chuffed to get a clean sheet, and that's something we've been striving towards. Another big thing today, Fabian Schär's 250th appearance for Newcastle.
We noticed that when he was playing, yeah.
And just before the show, we saw this on the club's Twitter account. But if you look, I've never seen this before. A 250th mark on his kit as a commemorative. And that's the first time I've ever seen something like that. I mean, we've seen, obviously, if we've played in a cup game or something that's significant, we've seen messages printed on the front there. We've, testimonials, we've seen that. But that's the first time I've ever seen an appearance mile marker, a milestone being called out like that, I think that's pretty cool. So
it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What I don't have is a picture of our lineup today. So I don't think we were really surprised. I think maybe, Vissa, starting instead of Voltemata at home. I think that's probably the only surprise. I was, he stuck with Gordon and Murphy on the wings. The midfield three picks itself. Right now, our back four picks itself. I was glad to see Lewis Hall, came through the match the other day, where he twisted his ankle a couple of times. I was glad to see him come through. When we had Rich from the Crystal Palace supporter on the other night for our match preview, we selected Mitchell at left back in our joint 11, our shared 11, because we weren't convinced that Lewis Hall was going to be able to start given that twisted ankle. So very happy to see that was happened. Right, sorry. And here I am saying I was paying attention to the comments and didn't. So, Gary says it's good to see the substitutions make a difference today. Yep. Good to see both Tino and Livramento and Trippier and Botman all on the bench today. So, unfortunately, that means that some of the Bairns didn't make it. We've seen two 18-year-olds and a 16-year-old on the bench the last couple of matches. But today, I think the only young one today was Alex Murphy. So everybody else was, a senior member of the squad. So Ramsey looks sharp. I want to come back to that one. I'll star that one because I want to talk about it. Julie gather here to celebrate a 2 win and a clean sheet. Gary says it's -6 here. Oh my goodness gracious!
It's like -3 here.
I think we -3 up in Merton. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm -3 right in where I'm city centre. I'm literally 5 minutes away from town, so
yeah,
and it's -3, and it's
goodness.
freezing.
and it was a little bit warmer earlier in the week, was it not? So
yeah, it was sort of, but obviously I work at the new stack as well in town, and there's no roof, and I was freezing at work yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't like the weather.
With no roof, that means the snow is coming down into the courtyard, isn't it?
Yep. It was fantastic.
Lauren, Lauren, you said I was checking another. That was the private chat that said you couldn't hear me, but you can hear me fine now.
Yeah, I came off and then I came back on, and then I can hear you now.
No sweat. Okay, so again, we'll start from the beginning. No real surprises in the starting 11 except maybe Voltemata and Hall. Good to see everybody coming back, or the injuries starting to clear up, and see people coming on the bench. Or anything that surprised you, Scotty?
No, not at all. I thought he might have started Harvey Barnes instead of Gordon, but he didn't. He went with Gordon. Very good decision. Worked out for him. Wissa, I think, was a good move too at home. Gives us something different. Them little runs he makes is just fantastic. Yeah, really good start 11, I think.
Lauren, you watched the game.
I did. Yes.
Anything that surprised there for you?
Not really. I was quite happy with the starting 11, to be honest. And I knew, obviously, Wissa. He's amazing. Wissa, he's playing really well at the minute. It's like what Scott said. His little runs and stuff, like he's just there. But yeah, I was very impressed with the starting 11. Apart from getting on the edge of my seat when we got them 2 goals and then they were offside. But yeah, apart from that,
we'll talk about those. Obviously, I think there were a couple of surprises for us from the Crystal Palace starting 11. When we talked to Rich the other night, we didn't think Will Hughes was going to start. We thought he was injured, and he ended up in the starting 11. We did expect Nathaniel Klein to come in at right back. That wasn't a surprise. Mitchell started. He played with the back three, the 3-4-3 formation that we discussed the other night. Brennan Johnson getting his first start for the club after just moving from Spurs for 35 million the other day. I mean, it was just 3 days ago, and he was already in the starting 11. And let's be honest, he was lively.
Looked juicy, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I think the first 10 minutes, can we be honest and say the first 10 minutes, I think both teams were feeling each other out. I don't think anybody actually grabbed hold of the match like we saw against Burnley, where we scored 2 in 7 minutes. I mean, we didn't have that kind of effect in this match. I think maybe the weather had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Jules, Dan never asked people from the UK about the weather. Apart from queuing.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
She's not wrong. So no, I think we started lively. I think we, like I said, Brennan Johnson was electric over there on the right hand wing, making some darting runs and everything. Then we could talk about the first one. Then we had the first goal, which was the Vissa goal that was judged to be offside. I mean, it looked a good goal when we started to see the VAR decision. Then you saw that his shoulder was offside. This goes back to the conversation that we always have when it comes to offside rulings. Is I said to Scott just before we went live, I said, I would like to take any of those guys in the VAR in the VAR box, who are watching the videos and everything like that. I would love to take them to the sideline, sideline of the pitch, have them stand there and start running from a dead stop. Go. And try and do it without leaning forward, without moving your arms or something like that. They don't even use that part. If you're a keeper, yes, but the rest of you, I mean, I can't understand how the advantage isn't given to the attacker, the attacking player, in that kind of and we've seen it. We've seen, armpits offside. We've seen toes offside. We've seen a whole bunch of ridiculousness with VAR calling offside. And let's be honest, some of the calls are also late. You see the linesman running, trying to keep up and everything, and then the ball's in the back of the net. And as soon as the ball's in the back of the net, then the flag goes up. And you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts, Lauren, on the first goal? I mean, obviously, Scotty mentioned Vissa's runs off the ball and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it was a poacher's goal, wasn't it? It
was beautiful, and straight away we were celebrating, me and Kieran. Poor Ella, obviously I had my Ella today, and she sort of just looked at us to see why is Mammy like bouncing around. But yeah, obviously I was buzzing in Wissa. Like he is fantastic, and he's just there. Like, he was there, right place, right time. Unfortunately, it was offside. And as soon as the decision got offside, obviously, I wasn't very happy, but it was a fantastic goal.
Yeah. Well, it's Scotty. The fact that we're actually getting to see Vissa now, we paid a bunch of money for him, and then of course he goes off on international duty, and he comes in the last day of the transfer window. He goes off to international duty, gets bungles his knee, and then we don't see him for 2 months. Just having him out on the pitch, seeing him not only off the bench, but seeing him starting, that's got to be, put a little spring in our step, yeah?
Do you know what it is? It's lovely to see, not just Wissa, but, and I know this sounds really short, but it's lovely to see the number 9 on the field again as well. Like that legendary number just out there. I don't know whether anybody saw it, but he made a run, and he bundled the run past the goal, and he was giving it to the crowd. I'm thinking, that's what I want to say. Like, he's buying into what we love. Do you know what I mean? He's buying into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring the crowd in. Do you know what it is? I think, I keep saying this again, next year he'll be a different player, but he does give us something different. He needs a bit more time with Eddie to learn how we play. But I think he's going to be deadly. But we haven't had that deadly striker since Mike Lowen. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We haven't had that guy, and we still haven't seen Marder and him. And it looks so juicy, but it's like Eddie's making us wait, and it's just awful. Like it's.
I think we've got to get through this busy patch. I mean, the holiday period is always chock-a-block. I mean, we've got so many. The fixture list is just something else, and of course, we've talked about this before. We're still performing in both the Champions League and the Carabao Cup. You know, we've made we've got the semifinal coming up against Man City. Sorry, apologies. I was thinking about last year. You know, we got City. You know, in 2 legs. We host them at home first. You know, we are still in with a shout of the qualifying spaces in the Champions League. So you know, the fact that we've got all of these matches chalked up, you know, just means, and we've had the injury problems, just means that, you know, rotation has been hard to come by. As I said,
like Dan.
Say again, Scott.
I watched City today, and I think we could hurt them.
I
really do. They look lackluster.
Wait, Howay, if Man City cannot score against Sunderland?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you know, I was watching that match, and I was like, how can't you score against Sunderland? I was like, come on. Like, sorry, there's any Sunderland fans are watching, which I highly doubt it, but yeah, like, come on.
I think we hurt them in the semis. Like,
I think we will as well. I agree.
Yeah. It's
just a shame that we host them first.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to do them at St James's Park first.
Yeah. Well, they've done away with the away goals. Am I right in that competition? In the aggregate, if it's still tied, you know, there's no benefit to scoring more goals away from home. It's just going to be an aggregate draw, and then we go to extra time, and then if it's still tied at extra time, then we don't go straight to PKs. We have to in the semifinal. I think it goes. Yeah. There's so many rules, and they change all the time, of course. So you know, I love this. I love this comment. Thanks, Les. Did anybody see Voltemata and Chow saying they've never been players to hype the crowd, but they've bought into it because of Bruno?
It's always Bruno. And look, honestly, Bruno is my favourite when he scores because he literally hoists his hands in the air and he's hyping the crowd up. And that's what I love to see when they get the crowd involved. And Bruno, he's top of my list for that.
You mean this?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And when he kisses his badge as well, it's just like, there's only one Bruno.
Yep, we'll talk about that in a minute. After the Vissa goal was judged to be offside, we kind of mucked about a little bit. Lots of talk on Twitter and such. You know, Murphy not having a terrific game in the first half. You know, giving the ball away.
The bubble burst, hasn't it? A little bit. The purple patch is not quite there yet at the minute.
No.
And obviously not having Elanga, he's sort of got to put him in because Barnes down there is just not. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I still think Murphy has a big part to play in the season.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, we're making use of the entire squad depth that we have. You know, we talked about this the other night. We've got 28 guys on the named roster. And of those 28 guys, we know a whole bunch of them don't play, such as John Ruddy, such as Mark Gillespie. You know, we've got 2 keepers that are in the squad as training assets, as, you know, guys that are in the squad and they can be an emergency keeper, but they don't expect to get any game time. But they have to be, they're senior players, so they have to be named, you know. And then with all the injuries, we had earlier in the week, I think we had 10 altogether out. You know, we had Kraft, we had Elanga, we had Botman, we had Tino, we had Trippier, we had Hall out for a little bit. You know, I mean, it's been tough to name a starting 11. I mean, again, with both of your first choice right backs out, and then if Hall was unavailable and we were forced to play Livramento at left back or Trippier at left back if they were available. I mean, we're still forced now. I think this was the 4th game in a row where we've had to use a central midfielder in Lewis Miley, a 19-year-old central midfielder on top of that as an emergency right back. I mean, and he hasn't looked out of place.
Do you know what it is? That kid, you could put him anywhere. He just loves to pull on the black and white shirt. You can see it, and he'll die for it. You can see it. He's been outstanding for 5-6 games now.
Yeah,
how
yeah.
He's definitely been my man of the match for every game. He's been fantastic.
I mean, they're calling him Starboy at this point. I mean, he Miley Maldini is. I mean, the Jordi Maldini I've heard him called. So, I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but he has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, having Murphy playing in front of him and the style that we play, we're always constantly looking for the overlap. That actually suits Miley down to the ground because he likes to get forward, but when you can see that the guy in front of you is having a bit of a bit of a struggle, he's got to step up and play two roles, so to speak. So I think the frustrating thing with Murphy was he would dribble himself into a position where he gave up the ball at some point.
Yeah.
One more reason Bruno is special. Agreed, 100%. So we kind of, the first half kind of teetered on, petered on. I was looking for a word that we could all understand. I don't think there was anything all that exciting. I mean, it was at one point it was end to end. I mean, it was, back and forth, but no one with any real chances. And then, of course, there was the long ball from the back up to Joe Linton. And Joe Linton, fantastic first touch to control the ball. Yeah. And then again, putting the ball in the net. And then the flag goes up. I mean, Scott, you were before we went on air, you were talking about Joe Linton there. You said you're saying he's got to be better. Go for it.
Slightly critical of that one. I just think he's got to look at the line a little bit better. He's got to look where that defensive line is. But that's being hypercritical. Like you say, he's got to think about the touch as well. But I mean, he put it in the back of the net, and it was a hell of a goal. But I just think he's got to read that line a little bit better, personally, if I'm going to be hypercritical about him.
Thank you, Leslie. Leslie just corrected me. It wasn't the Vissa goal. It was Gordon's goal. It was his run that made the goal for Gordon. But yeah. Our apologies. Thank you very much for correcting us. Thank you for putting us in straight. Sometimes I speak with authority, and I just need to be smacked about the head, shoulders, and say, "Hey, dummy, get right." So, no, I'm again. That was another fantastic poacher's goal. The vision for Vissa, the unselfishness from Vissa to pass it to Gordon, and then Gordon having to shoot from behind him. The ball had gotten to try and get it in the net. That was a fantastic finish. Mm-hmm. But again, offside. So, and it was Vissa who was offside. That's why I think I was attributing it to Vissa when he got the ball. So, but yeah, Joe Linton, again, fantastic touch. We've seen that touch before. Remember the match against Spurs, facing the same goal. When Joe Linton took his goal, when we scored 5 against Spurs in the first 20 minutes. Same kind of deal where Joe Linton's touch was just sublime and brings the ball down. But you're right. Again, when I saw Steve Bruce talking about it the other day, and you know how we all feel about Steve Bruce. He was saying that that the Joe Linton deal was already made when he took over, from Rafa. He was already coming in. They put the number 9 jersey on him, so all of a sudden he's got this big expectation along with the big fee and everything. But when he was playing at Hoffenheim, he played on the left of a front 3. So all of a sudden here we are throwing him in as a center forward, knowing full well that that's not his natural position. But even Bruce was like, I never saw him playing in midfield, and now of course he's the beast that we all know and love. But yeah, when he gets that opportunity to get forward, he's got to be mindful of that offside line.
when he keeps his cool, he has got a decent touch at times, and he can play football. It's when he loses his rag, and it just seems you can just see the blocks fall in his head, and it just all starts unraveling. So he becomes this madman, and you just think, just wind it in, play football. Eddie just needs to go pack it in, play football like you can, and that middle 3 we've got is one of the best in the league with him in it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and I mean, just he's an enforcer, but he's also a hothead. And and the funny thing is, you could also see him running his mouth.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
He does not like being called back for it. Yeah, I know.
I shout at the telly and I'm like, Joe, man, I'm like, pipe down, Joe, just stop it. I'm literally screaming at the telly, telling him to shut up, like you can hear us. But I'm just like, Joe, pack it in, you're going to get a yellow. I'm like, Joe. He just runs his mouth all the time.
Like you say, he cannot help himself.
Nah, he cannot.
Get the gaffer tape out and just shut him
big
up.
Joe.
Maybe he's got to be able to work on, surely.
Yeah.
Don't bring you there, Scott.
If Eddie gives him like a pointer every season, right? Keep your gob shut this season. You keep your gob shut. Can you do that?
I'll put £1 in the jar if you could keep your mouth shut.
Swear jar. We've got a swear jar in the changing rooms.
If we did that, we'd get Morgan Rogers from bloody Aston Villa for cheap. It would be full.
Absolutely, we'd be in the millions.
Love that.
That's awesome. Jules was calling off saying that Murphy wasn't, that when he went off, it looked like he had a potential hamstring pull. That was late in the second half. We'll talk about that. But maybe he's been dealing with that lately. I mean, again, the lack of the ability to rotate, because we don't have a Langa on the right hand side, and we've played with Barnes on the right hand side, and it just doesn't work. The fact of the matter is, we've got two specialist inverted wingers on the left in both Gordon and Barnes. And we've tried to play Gordon up front when we didn't have Vissa or Voltemata, and the Rat had left. We've and then played Barnes on the left. It does playing Gordon on the right, and that's one of the things that's frustrating about Gordon, is because he's been in the England squad the last couple of tournaments simply because he is that Swiss Army knife. He could play on any one of in any position on the front three, but for whatever reason this season in the Prem, he can't seem to make it work. And when he doesn't, he gets frustrated. And when he gets frustrated, then it all goes out the window.
I agree.
So, and then, we're obviously walking wounded. Jules was saying, we're going to get to the end of the first half. The rest of the first half, you knew a goal was coming. The fact that we had two chalked off for offside, we knew that we were champing at the bit to get a goal. Just for whatever reason, we didn't lack that killer touch at the end, or we did, and we were just scared it was going to be called offside again. So we had to get through the first half, get through the first 45 minutes, get into the locker room, regroup. Hear some guiding words from our beloved Eddie, and then get back out there on the pitch. And on top of that, attack the Gallagate. When we attack the Gallagate for you've got an entire stand there that goes trying to get the ball into the net. So, I mean, it always behooves us to start attacking the Lees' end so that we can finish the match running downhill into Gallagate.
They did have a good chance just before half time.
Yep.
And I thought it was, do you know what it was? It was a nice piece of football. And I was like, because they can play. And I thought that should have gone in. If that had gone in, that would have changed the game big style for us, because we don't come back from 1-0 down. Thank God we didn't.
Yeah.
Well, and we were talking the other night, you got it. Lauren got her match prediction spot on. Scotty, you said it also 2-0.
I said a draw, mate.
That's right.
I said a draw. Baz said 2-0.
Baz said 2-0. That's right. Yeah. I said 3-1 because I wasn't confident that we would be able to get a clean sheet. I was convinced that we were going to give up a fluky goal. So
I thought the defense was going to go kamikaze again. He didn't.
Yep.
Not this time.
See, I'm just Voltemata is good versus. Yep. Rarely gets caught. Yep. Yeah. When we're talking about Vissa's arm, I'm just trying to catch up. Sorry. There's Paul. Good evening, Paul. Good to see you in the comments there. Blade, also good to see you. Sorry I didn't call you out earlier. Yeah, I think, we started the second half a little lively as well, but again, it was more back and forth. It wasn't until we made, I think it was I think it was the 60th minute, when we made our subs and they were telegraphed. We knew which ones they were going to be.
Eddie Howe, 60th minute telegraphed. You didn't know.
But then he surprised us. I was convinced he was going to take Vissa off. Instead, he kept him on.
He kept him on to like near last minute, didn't he?
And he took Gordon off, but I think that was because Gordon just got that rough and tumble yellow.
Yeah.
It was all ball, but I mean, I think, and he was pissed off about getting the yellow because he was just like, I got the ball, I played the ball, I didn't play the player, that kind of thing. I think Eddie saw there was a possible red mist, that was on the horizon. So preemptively, let's get him off. Then we were able to bring Barnes on in his place, which worked well.
It did.
We got Ramsey on as well, so that was a little bit lively because he came on for Tonali, and Tonali was having a bit of a struggle. And then I like that Eddie was also protecting Eddie, Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall with the twisted ankle from last week. I think he was protecting him, making sure that we wrap him in cotton wool, and then gave Tino Livramento the chance to come out. And let's be honest, I mean, if you're gonna take off a fullback, you're not going to take off Lewis Miley at this point right now.
No, definitely not.
And we know that we have a great alternative to Lewis Hall in Tino Livramento. Tino's, the thing that we talk about all the time on the show is Tino. There's all this talk that he could be going to Man City for 80 million or whatever like that. He's not an 80 million player, but what gives him that 80 million is his versatility. The fact that he can play right or left, and he's equally comfortable as both. I mean, arguably there have been times, in the Carabao Cup last year, earlier this year, back in March, he was playing at left back and Trippier was playing at right, because we didn't have Lewis Hall. So we were playing Tino there. So it was good to see him come off the bench, get some minutes in his legs, prove that he's rounding fitness there. So seeing those three come on kind of changed the game, didn't it?
I mean, Barnes definitely changed the game, and I think Ramsey put a shift in. We're starting to see glimpses of his game coming through. I just think it's going to take a little bit more time for him. I want him to do well. I like him. Did he bring Willock on as well? No, it was Ramsey.
No, that was later. That was in stoppage time.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that as well. I said 3-1 as well, Gary. Yep.
As well.
Yeah, agreed. Let's see. So let me go grab my media assets real quick. I think with the substitutions, then we saw this. What I love, I've been critical of Bruno the last couple of games. I thought he's looked, a little heavy-footed or something. Something wasn't quite right. But
yeah, I've been like that as well a little bit.
He's always got a smile on his face, and like you said, Lauren, he's Captain Fantastic. He's an ever-present, obviously, in midfield. But on top of that, he's just dogged. He never gives up, and that the goal that he scored today was an advantageous header. Let's be honest. I mean, it was kind of a fluke, but I mean, he was Johnny on the spot. Yep. Well, he was right where he was supposed to be. So it was a fantastic goal.
Right place, right time.
Yep. As Eddie says, Bruno's a very special player, special person, special character. Today he played a captain's role because that game was always going to be decided by very key moments in the game, and he's come up with a big one for us, and he's done it countless times. And we've seen that. What is that? His 7th goal now of the season?
I think so.
6 or
7, yeah.
Oh, we didn't. We didn't just do that, did we? Sorry, I had to.
He hit the bar from the corner as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheeky little. You know they're going to have to watch that because he's got the capability to do it more than once.
Yeah.
That goal was phenomenal.
Yeah.
From the corner ball. Wow. I know it's not this game, but
nearly did it again today and all.
Almost did it again. And I was watching YouTube, just clicking through stories, and there was some best goals of the season so far. And I was pissed off that Bruno's Olympico didn't make it in that list.
It should have.
I mean, well, and neither did Voltemata's back heel against Brighton. I'm sitting there going, how can that not be in this list? It was obviously Big Six heavy-handed, but that is what it is. So, Paul says we're going to have 7 days of bad weather, getting sleet as well. Good Lord! So, is it going to start warming up before I come over?
It should do. When you plan on coming over?
I'll be over last week of February.
Yeah, it should warm up by then.
Because
fingers crossed.
I hope it's Baltic, so you know what we feel like yearly.
Well, so the first time we came over, everybody who watches me on our other show on the Drop-In, when we talk about Monterey Bay, we were famous for tangents. When I first came over, it was in July of 2000. The next time I came over was in March of 2002. Then we came over in September of 2018. So, there was some time in between. Then we came over in March of 2024. And then we came over in January. That's when we met, right, Lauren?
That's when we met, yeah.
And then we came over this year. We came over in January and in May. And then I came over in August, and Tara came over. She was just there. She was just there. She got back a week ago, 2 weeks ago. But I think we've now experienced all the different seasons in Newcastle. Being that we got there in January, but in January it wasn't so bad. We were expecting blinding cold like you guys are experiencing right now. But
this is probably the worst January in a while.
Yeah.
100%.
Last January wasn't this cold, and then this January has been I've never experienced cold like it.
It's not just cold; it's bitingly cold.
It's as soon as the breeze, the wind hits your face, it's icy, an icy breeze where it just pierces your skin, and it's just. I'm not gonna lie, I've been hibernating for the past few days because it's just been awful. I woke up yesterday morning and it was just white outside, and I was like, "Is it Christmas?" It always seems to snow after Christmas, not Christmas, just after. And it's just it's been the coldest January we've had in a long time.
Leslie says that Lee's Park Lake is apparently frozen solid. It's frozen over.
Yeah. Wow. Frozen.
It's at 90% frozen on the 55 Degrees North YouTube channel. If you've seen that, great channel. I don't remember the gentleman's name that does that one, but I mean, just chock full of neat insights about the city and goes around looking at construction progress and that kind of stuff. So if you check that out, go check out 55 Degrees North. Get a season up a day. Jules says cold. So anyway, so we got the goal from Bruno. That put us up. Then almost straight away, we almost gave up a goal on the other end. Again, back and forth, end to end stuff. But it kind of felt like once we got the goal that we thought was coming, we weren't gonna be in a position where we were gonna surrender anything. Did we lose Lauren? Or did Lauren just go off camera? Nope, there she is.
I'm back.
I mean, once you got the goal, Bruno's goal was fantastic. Yeah. I saw them coming back into it a little bit though, which
I'll be back 2 seconds. Just I've got to take a phone call. I'll be 2 seconds.
No sweat, Lauren. I'll bring you back.
Be back. No bother.
Yep.
We did turn the screw. We did start turning the screw after the goal, but you can see why they're doing so well as well, because they didn't panic when we scored, and they did try to come back into it. Their midfield just couldn't handle ours. I think that's where we do bully a lot of teams, and we're lucky with that at this present moment in time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when we talked to Rich the other night, he didn't expect Will Hughes to start. So that was a surprise to see him in the midfield. I thought Pino did a very good job for them today. I thought he was alive. He was everywhere. Mateta was not fantastic, but he did his job. And he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
He's a unit, isn't he? He's an
Yeah.
absolute unit. I like him, but after what I saw today of him, I thought, you're not better than what we've got.
Right.
Because I know we're probably going to have to look for a striker at some point. I keep looking at these people in these teams, and you think, you're not what we need, or you haven't got something that we could use, type thing. But he seemed to just be a bit off it today. Luckily for us, he had a game.
Yeah. Today he didn't have a fantastic goal, and again, I liked him. He scored 2 goals in the FA Cup final last year, did he not? Was he the one who scored the 2, or was that Sarr? No, Sarr did, and Sarr's away at AFCON. So they had
well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, they had quite a few players missing, but like I said, Rich was saying that there were a couple of players that he didn't expect to start, and there they were in the starting 11. And we were expecting Brennan Johnson to come off the bench, and there he was starting straight away. So
I said he would start because it gives them an uplift, doesn't it? It's this new guy coming in. He's gonna want to play. Do you know what it is? He did put a shift in.
He did.
He did put a shift in, and he was up for it. He was up for it. I think he'll do well for them. Don't know whether the price tag's right, but that's got nothing to do with us.
And we've talked about this before. Everything is inflated at the moment, because everybody's looking. No one wants to lose a player in a World Cup year, especially in international. Brennan Johnson is a Welsh international, and Wales, of course, are in one of the playoff spots, or the for lack of a better term, but I mean, they're in one of the playoffs positions to try and make it to the World Cup this summer. So I mean, that you're going to pay for that, and Spurs was looking to make up some money there. So I'm sure Thomas Frank was saying I don't want him to go, but show me the money.
But unfortunately, I do think Crystal Palace could get cherry picked a little bit, because they have got some players that teams are going to look at. Jordan Henderson, I'm not saying Newcastle should take a punt on him, but he's definitely better than what we've got.
Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson, yeah, not Jordan.
the keeper. I was sitting there going, wait a minute,
not Jordan.
Jordan's at Brentford. Come on, man. And he's a Mackham.
No. Yeah, their keeper. Is he somebody we should be looking at?
Well, you don't play number 2 to how many different keepers at Man United, and you're not a good keeper? I mean, at some point, it's like Steve Harper for us. I mean, the only thing that kept Steve Harper, if he had moved clubs, would have arguably been an England international, because he was a great keeper. He just didn't get the game time to show what he was capable of doing. And when he finally did get game time, it was in the championship, because Shea had left, So, and by that time, he was 31, 32 years old at that point. So, it's a shame. But I mean, Dean Henderson is a good goalkeeper. Yeah. He was the backup to De Gea. He was the backup to who was the one before De Gea? Was it Van der Sar? I mean, he was at Man United for a long time. And saw the bench pretty much the whole time. So Leslie says she doesn't think 35 million is overpaying for Johnson. I don't think so either. I think he will prove himself in industry, if nothing else. Yeah. I mean, he was all over the place today. So kind of a bit of a hornet, So just wanted to pop in and say, hey, Josh, good to see you, sir. Haven't seen you in a while, bud. But are you over there now, Josh? Are you on Tyneside now, or were you just there before Christmas? Yeah. Lauren, I think you'll remember Josh. Josh was at the Strawberry with us after the match. That was when a whole bunch of the Americans were there.
Yes, so, I remember Josh. Yes.
Yep. Ponytail.
Yes,
Josh.
I remember.
Yep.
I was talking to him, because I realised he was from America as well, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, he was just there just before Christmas. Yeah, I saw him on Instagram, I think, or TikTok. I think he was doing a little job. So good to see you, Josh. I hope you're well. Look forward to seeing you sometime, maybe in Philly. One daughter that's going to school in New Jersey. So as we know from the summer series back in 23, Philly's not far from New Jersey. So we'll see what we can do. I have to come check out, what is it, the Kite and Key, and check out the pub that you guys, the official supporters club pub that you guys host games at. So I got to come over and see that. So yeah, great result today. So we want to talk about the second goal, and I want to I have to bring this up before we do that, simply because we've been talking about him all evening. This young man. Well, that's his December Player of the Month award for Newcastle. That's, obviously it's a Sella award, it's an internal award and everything, but good gravy, is he deserving of it. I mean, he's just been phenomenal. Anytime he's been called upon, he's done a shift. But I think the point I want to make is these were his numbers today. Again, here he is, 19 years old, local lad, made his debut 2 seasons ago. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Carabao Cup. He's done ever so well for a local lad, But look at these numbers today. He played right back. He's not a natural right back, but he's been there now for 4 or 5 matches. But look at that. He played the whole match, all 99 minutes. He had 89 touches. He completed 100% of his passes. Wow. 9 duels, and the only one in the match today that did that. He was the only 100%er. 5 out of 6 successful dribbles, 3 out of 3 accurate long balls, 3 recoveries, 3 clearances, and most importantly, there's the assist. And we mentioned the assist because, of course, that was the ball that came in that Chow put into the net, for his 3rd goal of the season and his first at St. James's Park. So, and by the time we got that goal, by the time the second goal came in, I think the door was shut. I think, would you agree?
We needed the second. And like you say, I mean, the seasoned right back's not pulling up them numbers at right back.
Right.
I mean, do you know what I mean? The seasoned fellas at right back that don't do them numbers. What a wonder kid that we've got on our hands. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
I agree. He's just played fantastic these past few matches as well. Like, me and Kieran, obviously, we watch the matches all the time together. And it's been Miley that stood out for me the whole entire one. Every single match, it's always been Miley. And Lewis Hall, because he is playing incredible at the minute as well. But Miley, for being a 19-year-old local lad, he is playing phenomenal, and it's well deserved that he got that. Well deserved.
We're often going to do whatever they did with Miley when he was out for nearly a year has shown fantastic results. You're absolutely right, Blake.
100%.
And yeah, Derek said
when our right backs come back, how do you then fit him in? Because you can't then drop him, can you?
You can't. No,
it would be drop Miley. No.
It would be unjust.
Where does he fit into that start next? Because at the minute, him and Hall's got to be first on the team sheet.
I think so. Well, can we try him out in goal? I'm joking. You
won't give any ideas, mate.
Well, when he came on in 2023, when he made his debut for the club, he was 17 years old, but he was already 6'1". Now you've seen in the last 2 years, he's put on at least a stone of muscle. He's grown another 3 or 4 inches. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5" now. He's just a unit.
Yeah.
And he doesn't move like that. I mean, we can depend on him to be a 6. We can depend on him to be an 8. No one saw him subbing in at 2. I don't know who at the club suggested to Howe, hey, we're in a tough spot. We're going to have to, it's either Murphy or Miley. And then they said, well, let's give Miley a shot. I have every expectation we've said this in the last couple of episodes as well. We're not doing a whole lot of training ground work.
No.
So it's not like they were able to put him out there in a scrimmage and say, let's see how he does. So whoever decided that this was worth a shot, applause. Give that person, an extra wedge in his pay packet or something, because whoever made that decision has come up trumps. Because, and I hate to say it though, I can't believe I'm doing this and then whoever did that was a great decision. That was absolutely right. There's a whole bunch of people asking about how much Miley makes a week. Well, I can tell you 2 years ago, he wasn't on $30K a week.
Nope.
And given how he's doing this season, I would have every expectation that Mr. Wilson might be calling Mr. Miley into the office to talk about an improved contract, because I think he's just been phenomenal.
We need to.
Yeah.
We need to. We don't want to see Anderson.
Agreed.
We don't want to see another Anderson situation with him, because it hurt losing Anderson. We lose Miley, which I don't think we will, but that would just hurt. That would really hurt.
So Blade says, if we get Trippier or Livramento back, fit and ready to go as a starter, we obviously can't drop Miley. Is Joe Linton the one that makes room for him? Right now, I would say he replaces Tonali. To be honest, because I don't know what's going on with Tonali. I think the last illness he had, I think he lost 2 stone. You could see it. He looks gaunt. He looks knackered. He looks tired. We know that his missus is expecting soon. So maybe, he's helping dote on her. Well deserved. Maybe he's just knackered but then he's been playing a lot of games again because of the fixture congestion.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like he's going through the motions a little bit, like he needs the end of the season to, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Maybe take him out now we've got a few people back. Take him out a little bit, put Miley in there, give him a rest. Yep.
Maybe that's what we have to do. I think the other half is about to drop. That's what I was saying, Roger. Yep, yeah. Exactly. And those of us who have had partners who have all gone through that experience. Lauren, you've gone through that experience yourself. You wake up in the middle of the night with Braxton Hicks or something like that, or just an upset tummy, or it's everything. And it disrupts everything. Maybe she's having trouble. Who knows?
It is hard to put it like. Get my words out. I've been pregnant obviously twice because I've got a son and a daughter.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely experience, but it is hard, especially near the end of pregnancy, when you start getting these Braxton Hicks. You think you're going into labour, and it can happen at any time. And then you could be standing cooking 1 minute, and then you could be hunched over in agony the next. It's a magical but hard experience.
Yep. And I mean, again, because it's their first one, you get scared.
Yeah.
I was the panicking one, when my wife was pregnant with our first,
I was panicking with fella.
I wanted to rush off to the emergency room every time anything happened. So, maybe they're not getting a whole lot of sleep in the house.
I was in the ER every single time, because I had really bad sickness with Ella. I was on a drip at 6 weeks pregnant. And then, near the end of my pregnancy, she wasn't moving much, so I was going into the hospital nearly every week.
Freaking out because you couldn't feel anything. Yep.
Yeah, and I was freaking out because I'm like, why isn't she moving? It's like, what's going on? But then it was just me because I was a first-time mom when I was panicking.
Yep.
But yeah, it's very hard.
I'm laughing at what's going on in the comments. It is a lively chat tonight. Roger said that Tonali's other half is about to drop. Jules said delicately put. He said, of course, and I hate the word drop. Gary says, if you were in a maternity ward and babies were dropping, you'd be sacked.
You would be. You're not wrong.
Oh, Gary. Back when you could argue, miss the good old days when we could argue about giving birth. Yep.
Oh,
Not enough nurses to sack anyone to begin with. Thank you, Scotty. You're in that field, you know. Roger bouncing babies. It would have been better to take the points deduction rather than sell Anderson and Minta. And I'm wondering, it was not long. It was not long after that decision was made that both Amanda and Merdad left. So I wonder if maybe there was some passion there that said, we can't lose these guys, and got overruled by the money people. So I don't know.
The only thing is with that is, and I might be being a bit cynical here, I think they'd have come down harder on Newcastle than a lot of other I don't think we could take,
simply because
we can never ever take that chance of what if, because I still think they want our guts for garters like the Premier League. So
yeah,
I think the decision had to be made, and unfortunately the right one was made. A points deduction would have been probably the lesser two evils, because Minty is looking good. I am gutted that we lost him. He looks really good for Brighton, and so does Anderson, to be fair. You know what I mean?
He's one of the positive spots in that Forest lineup. Yep, agreed.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, seriously putting himself in contention there for the England squad for the World Cup, with his performances. But I mean, Forest is having trouble there. So, give me just a second. I want to, because we've talked about both goals, and Malick Thiaw's goal was opportunistic, but again, right place, right time, got the ball in the net. That's all we needed. And then,
today, right place, right time.
Yep. And then we just kind of petered out. I thought that it was possible we could have a third coming, but I think after we made the next round of substitutions, Vissa came off, Voltamata came on, and then they took off Murphy with what looks like could be a hamstring injury, and brought on Willock, and Willock's miss. Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh no!
Do you know what it is? He's one of my favorite players as well, though. I really like Willock. I want him to do so well. I don't want to sell him.
There's something about him, isn't there, where you just want him to thrive and you just want him to do well.
I think it's because he was Mike Ashley's last crack of the whip. Do you know what I mean? He had a hell of a start with us. The lad's been injury prone, but when he's come back, he's come up with a goal here and there. I still think we need to keep him, and I do. I think we could see the Willock of old. People may disagree with that, but he is one of my favorite players. Yeah.
Oh, I think at this point we expect better than what he's been able to give us. I mean, like you said, Mike Ashley's last crack of the whip at trying to improve us. He did phenomenally well when he was on loan. We then, we spunked our entire transfer kitty that summer on him to bring him to the club, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out the way it worked out initially when he was on loan to us from Arsenal.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, again, the injuries, the setbacks that he's had from injury, that kind of thing. I mean, you go back and look at the Amazon Prime documentary, when we were qualifying to go to the Carabao Cup that season against Man United, he was gutted that he wasn't in, that he was injured, that he wasn't going to be available. He wanted to be part of that because he's another one that, I mean, you saw the smile on his face even when he was departing, when his loan was over and he was going back to Arsenal. He just loved the fans up here. He just loved being here. And then when he came and the move was made to make his position permanent, he was well chuffed to be here. But for whatever reason, it just hasn't gone his way. And quite frankly, I think we've bypassed him. I think we've gotten better than him. He would be
another season.
You think we give him another? He's a young lad. I mean, he's not. He's still got capabilities in him, and I want to keep him. I would love to keep him fit. And for whatever reason, the brotherhood he had with he who shall not be named, maybe that whole thing has also been traumatic for him. With his loss, because I mean, you go back and look at the social media, between those two, they were. Just chalk. They're just two peas in a pod. Those guys. Really quick, because we're coming up on an hour now, so we're coming to the end of the show. But again, we love these, don't we? And so So many people give us stick about it, but I mean, talk about a psychological booster every time. You know, if I know that they're turning these into a poster and they're hanging the posters on the wall. It's so awesome to see. I did notice that at Burnley it was the same thing. The edges were kind of blurry. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's. I said this the other night after the Burnley match. I said I wonder if it was just simply because Serena was coming out of -3 degree weather and coming into the hot and sweaty locker room, and the lens was just fogged over. But we love seeing these victory photos. It's a tradition. We went for a little while without seeing them, and then I'm really chuffed that we're starting to see these on a more regular basis. And again, the fact that we came out today against a great Palace side, depleted Palace side, to be honest, and got a clean sheet. Now we're in 9th. We're only 1 point behind Sunderland. What was the term you used earlier before we went on air, Scott?
It's hunting season on black and white cats. Eddie's hunting them down now. That's it. Yeah,
I agree there.
It's hunting season on Eddie. I've got a couple of lads that are Sunderland fans at the gym, and the other night said, you're not catching us. And I said, it's hunting season on you guys. You wait.
I get that. Like my partner, he works at Nissan, which is obviously in Washington. Yeah, Sunderland. And obviously, he's a Newcastle fan, and majority of people in Nissan are Sunderland fans. So he gets it every time he comes in from work and he tells us, and I'm just like, well, we'll just see what happens, won't we? But
marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens, but yeah.
The chat still it's talking about the points deduction and everything about PSR and all that. Whether or not they and Jules was saying the same thing you were saying, Scott, is the authorities would have come down on us hard.
Yeah, they're waiting for us. They are just lying in wait for us to make a balls up, and we cannot. We just can't do it.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's the rules are there, and every time if we do sidestep something, all of a sudden another rule gets put into place. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but for whatever reason, we just can't seem to be able to spend the way we want to spend. I'm not arguing about how we spent this last summer. I argue about the timing of our signings this last summer, but I think we all agree that it couldn't be helped. I think we are in a much healthier position in this transfer window. If we are going to make some moves, I would like to see some moves made. But I mean, to make them quickly. Gary says he knows Washington well, Lauren.
So quick question, Dan.
Yeah. Yes.
Now we've got some defensive cover back. Do you think we'll still go for defenders in this window or not?
I still think we need a backup to Lewis Hall. I know that we talked earlier about Tino Livramento being an adequate left back alternative. He's also arguably our starting right back when Trippier's not available. Just having that ability to rotate. If I could guarantee that Tino Livramento is now going to be injury free from now to the end of the season, I would say probably not. But given our tendency with fullbacks to he's got that dodgy knee. I still think we need to bring in somebody as a left back alternative to Lewis Hall, simply because they're both young kids, but they're also semi injury prone. The argument we've had the last couple of shows has been how do you bring in an alternative to Lewis Hall and ensure that person knows, look, you're going to be a squad player. Matty Target was happy to be that, but and now apparently he's been doing well at Middlesbrough. He couldn't get a game with us because he was injury prone. He goes off to Middlesbrough. He's playing a blinder, but I think he's now injured again, isn't he?
I'm not sure about his injury.
I think he had a hamstring pull. So
do we recall him at some point and just go, do you know what it is? We're keeping you? Because I still think going forward we need another striker.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we need someone.
I agree.
And you're not getting that in January. That isn't happening.
We don't know anything about Asula. Whether or not there's any truth of him going to Frankfurt, whether or not that's a loan, a permanent, a loan with the intent of being permanent, we don't know anything of that. But you're absolutely right, Scott. We need to be able to rotate somebody in. If we're ever going to get the opportunity to see Vissa and Voltemata play together, as a 9 and a 10 or a 9 and a withdrawn striker or a false 9 or whatever that is, we need to have somebody that you're able to bring off the bench to make them up the numbers.
I'm very 50-50 on Waldemir. He hasn't. I don't know. There's just something, and I know this is probably going to shock a lot of people, but I don't know. There's just something about him that's just sort of putting us off. And I don't get us wrong. He seems like, I've heard about him, and he is like a good player. But I don't know. There's just something about him.
Do you think it's though because he's not playing in his 10 role?
I think that might be, yeah.
Because Dan said this a few times, we haven't seen him in his natural role yet.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Because his hold-up play and everything is second to none. He's touch for
There's Roger says he's a 10, Lauren.
Yeah.
He's got some touch on him, like.
Yeah.
He's got some touch on him for a big lad. But you're right as well. I do think that, he's got to keep progressing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We have to see him progress.
He's still new. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, of course, he's got all of this time to build his confidence and stuff. But I don't know. I think it's just because of the size of him. To be honest, I just look at him compared to all the other players, and I'm like,
everybody's worried he's another Peter Crouch.
Yeah,
right.
But to be fair though, wasn't Peter Crouch wasn't horrific, was he?
No,
we've had worse. We've seen worse. Do you know what I mean?
I'll give him time. I'll give Waldemir time. Don't worry, I will. I'm not going to rule out anybody just yet, but I don't know. I think it's his height, to be honest. I think his height intimidates us, and I'm not even
intimidates you.
Yeah.
What is he? 6'8"? What is he? 6'8"?
He's 6'6", 6'7". 6'6", 6'7". I call him. I mean, there's the little YouTube video, the song about him. Calling him the Geordie BFG. I call him BFG, and the B is for Beardsley. Because he's got that touch. He's just his feet are phenomenal, but we haven't been able to see him play in his natural position. If you go back and look at how he played for Werder Bremen, when you go back and look at how he played for Stuttgart, he is not your stereotypical 9. But Germany has figured out, the national team has figured out how to use him as a 9, and he's been phenomenal. But you have to play a system that benefits him, and for whatever reason, our system doesn't allow for that. He's done incredibly well with the chances that he's gotten, and there have been some times where he frustrates. Oh goodness gracious!
I just think pre-season Eddie will work something where he can't do it at the minute. I think pre-season for next season you'll see a different I agree. Different team because Eddie will be able to try something in the down period.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think give him a full preseason in our squad where we can really truly have a look at him and figure out where he's best used. Yeah. This is his introduction to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, the people who watched him play for the under-21s for Germany last summer, they know what he's capable of. What people who have been watching Germany playing in their World Cup qualifiers and getting ready for World Cup, they've now all seen what he's capable of. The people who have paid attention to him as he's made his introduction into the Premier League, they all know what he's capable of. I don't think we have seen everything from him yet. We've seen him flashes of brilliance. I don't think we've seen the way. I think if he could be played to in a position where he brings other players into the game, which is what, again, Baz says it's the Jamie Tart thing from the third season of Ted Lasso. You got to stop playing to him and play through him, and there you go. So I'm looking forward to that. And and I have to point this out. Roger said he's 6'7". My nephew Owen said 6'7". So that's all your kids are with the 6'7s. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to say how much would you take for Barnes? I don't want to get rid of Barnes right now. I don't think let's see. We got a lot of fixtures coming up. We've got another fixture coming up on Wednesday against Leeds. We're hosting Leeds on Wednesday night. Another night under the lights at St. James's Park. Hopefully the weather will clear up a little bit. Maybe it won't be so frigid. Thank you. I'm starting to wrap up, guys, because we've gone over. Thank you for everybody in the chat. I just have a couple of announcements. Just make sure that I've covered all this. Again, you can be sure to like and subscribe. You can again join, become a member of Through Black and White Eyes for as little as 99p a month. Again, the money that we raise there goes to the operating costs of the channel, and then we give the rest to charity. Speaking of, we've got this coming up at the end of February. This is I'm really excited about, Lauren. When I come over, I'll be over a couple of days early so that I can
I'll be there.
so I can acclimate. When I came over in August, I went straight from the airport to the charity event out at Benfield for the soccer tournament. And
and you were falling asleep in the stack.
We went afterwards and went to get a pint at the stack, and I fell asleep at the table. So no, I don't want that to happen. But if I do, again, we will be hosting a charity event at Newcastle Benfield on Friday, February 27th. Tickets are £15 per person. All of the proceeds, Newcastle Benfield is providing the venue for free. Super Malcolm McDonald is waiving his fee in exchange to raising money for Gibbo's charity, which is Azure. Graham Bailey is going to be joining us from Team Talk. He and Baz and I will talk for a little bit before we bring on the big guns in Super Mac and Gibbo. But all the proceeds that night are going to the two charities that for our guests. Again, there's Azure and then the Butterwick Hospice House. If you are interested in attending, all you have to do, you can freeze the TV after this show publishes. You can scan the QR code. It'll take you right there to get your tickets. You don't have to email anybody or anything. So we've got that coming up in February. This is the part that we want to get excited. Obviously, you know that Baz and Martin over at the Mancunian Way YouTube channel have been doing their weekly Oil Brothers episode where they take turns hosting. So that will return here coming up this week on Fridays. That'll be a standard. You can start setting it. You put it in your diary, but it'll be alternating weeks. So I think this Friday will be on the Mancunian Way over on Martin's channel, and then next Friday will be here on Through Black and White Eyes, and so on and so forth. The reason why I mentioned that's on Friday is because starting tomorrow we have Geordies versus Magpies. That's not what it was. Where'd the graphic go? We have a new segment on Through Black and White Eyes, and we're teaming up with Macam Cabby, the Macam Cabby channel over also on YouTube, for what we're calling black and white and red all over. It'll be a joint show with level-headed Sunderland supporters, so that we can talk about things all Northeast football. And if in the event Middlesbrough finds themselves in the Prem again, we'll be happy to add Middlesbrough to the mix, and we can it'll be a Northeast football, Prem football focused show. But that is going to be on Mondays, and the same thing, it's going to alternate. So tomorrow night, I think our first one is on our channel. Through Black and White Eyes will be hosting. Next Monday night, we will be over on Macam Cabby's channel, so you'll see that. Also, just real quick, thank you. Shout out to Joe Spinney and family down there in North Carolina for Dire Crow, who sponsors our show. Lots of Newcastle-based stuff. No, you cannot have whose wife was that? I'm trying to remember. Somebody said you can't have the wife. You can have the Mac and Slayer shirt, but you can't have the wife. The other. Thank you, Joe, of course, and use the code BAZ20 for 20% off. The multi-award-winning Geordieland experience. Again, if you are coming to visit the Northeast, and other than Newcastle United Football Club, you don't know much about the region, give a shout-out to Sparky Buddy over at the Geordieland experience. Make sure you drink a Red Bull before you go on a tour with Sparky.
Sparky is fantastic, full of energy. Love him. Absolutely love Sparky.
He is phenomenal. He's great. So look him up. Again, the Geordieland experience. Also, have to mention Prince Charming. I failed to mention them because they are also one of our sponsors for the evening for our talk-in with Super Mac and Gibbo. Prince Charming over there in Wall's End. Great movie football, music, memorabilia shop. They're on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. So if you go look them up,
far from me. I might go pop down.
there you go. M&J Jewelry, but yeah, they call themselves Prince Charming. They will also be sponsoring the night at Benfield Football Club in February. So look forward to meeting with them. Go give them a look over at on Instagram, not Instagram, Facebook. Show my other one. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of sports paraphernalia, music and memorabilia, movie memorabilia. Just go give them a shout, have a look. But we look forward to meeting them also on that night in February. And with that, hold on. Crap, I got 20 more. Woo-hoo. Let's see. There's jumping in. Get your event tickets ASAP. Yep, what we're looking to do is raise £2,000. We want to give £1,000 to each charity. And
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
we've got. We're thinking. Yeah, we've got. Well, with the number of tickets that we have available and the cost of the ticket, we should be able to give both charities a sizable donation. We're really looking forward to that. Let's see. There's Doggy Pals saying, thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Thank you again, Lauren. So good to see you, dear. I'm so happy you're back.
I know, I'm back. I'm back for good now.
So just real quick, are you no longer at the club? You're only at the Stack now?
Yes, I'm no longer at the club anymore.
Okay.
I left there. I think I left there in November when I
Got
got the new job at Stack.
Super.
So I am at Stack Newcastle. We've just opened in December, so we're still brand spanking new. We've only been open, I think, 4 weeks now.
You opened December
4
5th, if I remember right?
Yes. So yeah, nearly a month now. It'll be a month tomorrow.
And for all of our non-Geordie speakers, how do you pronounce the building, the famous building that sat empty for 20 months?
Containers.
But it's inside worship chambers?
Yes, it's inside Warwick Chambers.
Warwick Chambers.
On Pilgrim Street. And it's absolutely fantastic. The new venue is beautiful.
If you're familiar, if you've been to Newcastle and you've been to the St. James's Stack, this is a similar kind of setup, but this one is inside the building. As you said, the building has no roof, so it's
a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger than St. James's.
Multi-story, right? It's like 3 floors, 4 floors.
3 floors. I'm on the top floor on Cascabel Bar, which is a tequila bar. So you've got there's 8 different bars and there's 8 different food stalls and there's also a coffee shop as well. So
and more stuff is going to be added, like games and stuff, right?
Yeah. So we've got a games room, karaoke room, shuffleboard room. Literally, it is phenomenal. Get yourselves down.
Jules, I look forward to another pub crawl with you and Dave. That we had a great time the last time we were in town back in May. So that was great. Okay.
One of that, Jules. Lauren.
You are?
Do you watch the match there as well?
Yeah, so the Sunderland match got played, and then I think the other match got played. So quite a few matches do get played.
Are they doing Leeds?
Obviously, you what? Sorry.
Are they doing Leeds on Wednesday?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Mainly on weekends is when we'll play the games. If we play on a weekend, then we'll play them ones.
Cool.
But obviously, we're not a fan zone. We're just the normal Stack.
Yeah.
So we don't always play the matches, but most of the time we do. But we're not a fan zone. It's always St. James's.
And Leslie says you can donate using the super chat and state that it's for the event, or contact Baz via Twitter or email. There you go. Baza080808 on Twitter, if you can find him. And I think on TikTok, I think he's nufc.baz, if I remember right. But we will see Baz tomorrow. He'll be back. He was working tonight. That's why I'm hosting. So again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Everybody who was on, Lauren, Scotty, Mr. Devlin. Always a pleasure, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, everybody. Great 3 points today. 9th place. Away the lads.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Ta-da.